personal foul.
That was absolutely ridiculous.
The Boston Bruins have won the Stanley Cup.
Up on down. Here comes a 1-2 pitch. Red Sox win the World Series.
I don't know. It's tough. Tom's up there, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, evacuating for Boston.
What's going on YouTube? It's boy Justin made here on YouTube and Beat Top Days back in with another reaction video! First time ever on this YouTube channel here where we are reacting to GiraffeNeckMarc, one of the biggest MLB YouTubers out there. He is discussing the Sonny Gray trade that happened a couple days ago where the St. Louis Cardinals traded Sonny Gray to the Boston Red Sox for a couple prospects, along with cash coming to the Sox as well. At the recording of this video here, it is Thanksgiving, so just wanted to wish you guys a very happy Thanksgiving. Happy Turkey Day to all you people out there. I'm thankful for all the love and support that I have gotten from you guys day in and day out on the live streams, reaction videos, the game vlogs, everything that has happened on this channel here. All the love and support has been felt. You guys don't even know how thankful I am for you guys that I have, each and every single one of you, and I appreciate the continued support along the journey. Now, not going to really talk about the trade as much, because last night I uploaded a video with my thoughts and my reactions from the Sonny Gray trade, and there really isn't much that I really need to say more of on the trade. I like the move for the Red Sox if Sonny Gray is going to be a number 3 or even a number 4. Like, especially if he's going to be a number 4 starting pitcher for this team. I love the trade for them even more with Sonny Gray. I don't think he should be a number 2. I think that's putting a lot of expectations on for him at the age of 36, with him regressing the last 2 years. But it's a very solid move. I think they're not really giving up much. Again, you know how I feel about prospects. Prospects are like suspects. And they only gave up one prospect, and they gave up Richard Fitz, who I was never high on to begin with. I viewed him more of a long reliever than anything. If he was going to be a starter, he'd be a fringe number 5. So, wasn't really high on Richard Fitz. So, I like the move for the Red Sox. They get themselves a legitimate arm here. However, I do think this means Lucas Giolito is gone, unfortunately. But if the Red Sox do end up going to trade for like a Joe Ryan or a Freddie Peralta, or if they can hit a home run, they get Tarek Skubal, then I'm totally okay with Lucas Giolito walking and Sonny Gray being the replacement. Again, I feel like I'm repeating myself from the last video that I dropped, so we're just going to dive straight into this video here from GiraffeNeckMarc. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe now if you guys are new. You guys know what to do. Go to our website. The link is in the description down below. You guys want to be notified whenever we drop an upload. Hit that notification bell so you can be the first one to watch these videos. I will leave GiraffeNeckMarc's channel in the description down below, along with the original link to this video in the description down below. And before you guys watch this reaction, what I will say is this. Go watch my last video on my thoughts and opinions on the Sonny Gray trade. Because, again, not going to really go into too much depth in this video here because I did that last video. So if you guys want to know how I feel fully on the trade, go check out my last video. I'll leave that link in the description down below as well. And without further ado, stop straight into the reaction.
Sonny Gray has been traded to the Boston Red Sox in exchange for Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark. This is a huge trade, not just because the Boston Red Sox have clearly made it known that they're going for it. They need more pitching. In order to get to the World Series, be a World Series championship contender, they need help in the starting rotation. Sonny Gray goes there. But also for the St. Louis Cardinals, fire sale. Sonny Gray was someone who had a no-trade clause. He waived it. Now he's a Red Sox. They brought in Richard Fitz, and they brought in Brandon Clark. 2 younger pitching prospects. Richard Fitz not so much, but Brandon Clark down in A-ball. Richard Fitz, a major league level pitcher with control. Both of these teams heading in different directions but both of these teams getting a lot of value in this trade. I like both sides of this. I think the Red Sox got a great pitcher in Sonny Gray. I think the Cardinals got good value. Before we get going into this, make sure you do subscribe to my channel. If you are not yet sub, click that sub button. We're coming at you with all the major baseball news and videos this offseason. And let me know in the comment section below, who do you think won this trade, the Red Sox or the Cardinals? So as always, Jeff Passan came in with one of his patented Passan bombs, and he told us that Sonny Gray has been traded to the Red Sox. We then got the full details, and there's a lot to talk about here because it's not just Sonny Gray. The Cardinals are also sending cash because it has now become a mutual one-year deal with an option for the second. Sonny Gray is going to be getting paid $41 million this season with a mutual option for 2027, which I think is super interesting because if you didn't have that option in there, a reworked contract, Sonny Gray would be due $35 million this year, and then it was a team option next year for $30 million with a $5 million buyout. So essentially, Sonny Gray is getting $41 million this season, and that does change the value of Sonny Gray. It's now more of a one-year contract rather than a 2-year with a team option. He's getting paid more money this year, part of the reason why he probably waived his no-trade clause.
I don't see why he wouldn't pick up the option. 37 years old, getting paid $30 million or whatever. I don't see why he wouldn't necessarily pick up that option. It'd be more so if the Red Sox are willing to pay the $30 million. So, it depends how he looks this year. If he looks like he did in Minnesota a few years ago, obviously you pick it up. Right? I mean, if you're the Red Sox, obviously you pick it up. If he returned back to, like, the form that, like, we know Sonny Gray can be, then obviously the Sox pick it up for $30 million, right? This could potentially be a 2-year thing. I don't think this is going to be, like, a situation where, like, the mutual option, one side's going to disagree, but the other side's not going to. I think this could be picked up by both sides here. I think this could be a 2-year experiment with Sonny Gray.
And he slots nicely into this Red Sox rotation. Go on over to Roster Resource. Shout out to the guys over at Fangraphs for updating this so quickly. You see their rotation right now. Projected: Garrett Crochet, Sonny Gray, Brian Bayo, Cutter Crawford, Patrick Sandoval. And as you notice, none of the guys in AAA are listed here. Peyton Tolle is going to be in that rotation. Connolly Early is going to be in that rotation.
I don't think Tolle's going to be in the rotation, but that's
Hunter
just me.
Dobbins was pretty
Early
good with the Red
might.
Sox for times last year. This rotation is actually very deep right now, and it was a great move by the Red Sox to move on from a guy like Richard Fitz, who has become a little bit redundant in their rotation, in their organization, and how they're going to build this team moving forward. They have a lot of young, controllable pitchers. You don't need Richard Fitz right now, and I think out of all the guys that I just listed, he is one of the weaker options in the Red Sox org. He also had some injury issues last year, and Sonny Gray's coming in and giving the Red Sox something that they need. A true number 2. Brian Bayo.
No. Now, this is where you're losing me. This is where you are losing me, because if Sonny Gray's coming in here to be your number 2 pitcher, this is a massive letdown for the Red Sox. And the reasoning for that is because he is 36 years old. He has regressed the last 2 years. Sure, his FIP says he did worse than what he actually should have done. But I still weigh the ERA. I still weigh how many home runs they hit off of him. I still weigh the walks. You know what I mean? Like, advanced analytics has really ruined the game of baseball. Because, yeah, the FIP says he should have did this specific number, but he actually did 4.28 or whatever that ERA is. That's what he actually did. So, I hate the advanced analytics. I mean, you still got to look at the ERA and all the basic statistics. Wins and losses, I think that's not really a valid stat anymore because these pitchers sometimes don't even go 5 innings or whatever. But the other numbers, however, yeah. Definitely have to show some importance. It's just a lot to ask for a guy who's 36 years old. He just turned 36. So he'll be in his mid-36 next year. Like, he'll be, like, 36 and a half years old going into the season. Being a number 2 for a guy who's approaching 37, that's a lot to ask for. And again, if you look at the stats, not the projected stats, but if you look at what he actually did, he regressed the last couple of years. He did. He regressed. So, he's a number 3 at most. Number 4 would be ideal. Because I did like what I saw from Brian Bale last year. I liked what I saw from him last year. So if you want to have him at 3, Gray at 4, or if you want to have Gray at 3, him at 4, like Bale at 4, then whatever, fine, I'm cool with that. But if Sonny Gray's your number 2, that's a massive letdown for the Red Sox. It just is. You're swapping Giolito, and you're getting Gray. Do you get a little bit better there? Yeah, you probably do, but it's not enough to move the needle a lot. You know what I mean? It's not a lot. It's not going to be a move where you look at it and it says, "Oh my God, he's a game changer. He makes them 10 times better than what Giolito does." No, no, he doesn't. Does he make them better? Sure. But how much is it really moving the needle? I don't think it moves the needle that much. Do I think he's better than Giolito? Yeah, I think he's better than Giolito. But not by much. I think Giolito's ceiling could be a little bit higher than Sonny Gray's. But again, Giolito's far more inconsistent, and he's always getting injured. So, I do think you get better with the swap. But how much better are you really getting? I don't think it's enough to make a game changer, if that makes any sense to you guys.
3. Oh, chef's kiss. I absolutely love it. And Sonny Gray as a number 2, I think is fantastic for this Red Sox team, especially pitching in Fenway. Sonny Gray, low-key, had one of the better K-to-walk ratios last year. Of course, on paper last year, Sonny Gray, 4.28 ERA, 1.234 whip. It doesn't seem that great, but in actuality, Sonny Gray was pretty valuable from a pitching standpoint, especially for what the Red Sox could need. Like, Sonny Gray gave the Cardinals 180 innings. You look at his FIP, it was 3.39. He actually got a little bit unlucky. Fielder-independent pitching, he was great. He was one of the best in baseball, and that's kind of been Sonny Gray's thing because, again, when you look at this K rate, when you look at the walk rate, 26.7 K rate, 5.0% walk rate. That gives him a K to walk ratio of 21.7%. That's some of the highest in baseball. And when you compare it to the rest of the league, Sonny Gray was 7th last year in K to walk ratio, ahead of guys like Jesus Luzardo, Christopher Sanchez, Logan Webb, Yamamoto, Hunter Brown, some of the better pitchers in the game. So it would lead you to believe that Sonny Gray still has a lot left in the tank. Don't necessarily buy into that 4.2 ERA last season because all the underlying stuff loves what Sonny Gray did. And I think this was a great move for the Red Sox. You're getting money. You're getting a reliable starter. This rotation is so much better with Sonny Gray. Now, under the hood, there were a few things that were a little concerning. The fastball velo was down. The K rate did drop from the previous year.
Well, that's the thing, right? That's the thing. That goes along with his age. The velo's going down. Like that's why I don't think he can be a number 2. Is just because his stuff is not the same what it used to be, and he just said don't really look at the 4.28. I am looking at the 4.28. I am gonna look at that number because that's what he actually did. That's what he did. I'm not gonna look at the stats and say, oh, this is what he should have done. He had a great. I'm not gonna do that. That's the nerd mindset of baseball. I'm not gonna look at that. Like, I'm gonna sit here and look at exactly what he did. Now, I'll look at that stat a little bit and say, okay, he should have maybe did this, but, like, he did do this, however. So, the way I look at it, I combine the two together. And I'll sit here and be like, okay, where is he actually ranked in the rotation. And for me, that's the number 3 spot. Like, I feel like I could look up Rick Porcello's stats, and the numbers might be close to what Sonny Gray's is. I'm not saying they are. I'm just saying they might be. So is he a number 2? No, he was never a number 2 pitcher. He was more of a number 3. So that's how I look at it.
Could continue to drop. We'll just kind of have to wait and see. But the Red Sox have done so many great things with pitching. They made Garrett Crochet into a beast, even better than he ever was before. Like, he's one of, the 3-4 best pitchers on the planet. Sonny Gray as a number 2 is awesome for this Red Sox team. And over the long season, getting...
Yeah, okay, here we go. Like, his last year that he ever pitched, Rick Porcello, he had a 5.64 ERA, but he had a FIP of 3.33. So is he a number 2 pitcher? No. And even the year when he won Cy Young, he had a 3.15 ERA, and his FIP was 3.4. So he did a little bit better than what he should have done. Then in 2018, he had a 4.28 ERA, and he had a FIP of 4. Like, straight 4. So, I mean, the FIP stat, again, it's a, if this happened, then this is what it should have been. Don't really like the number, but, like, I'll look at it. I'll look at it and say, okay, here's a perfect example. I'm looking at Rick Porcello's stats, by the way, if you guys haven't noticed. In 2012, Rick Porcello had a 4.59 ERA, but he had a FIP of 3.91. So, according to the FIP stat, he should have had like a 3.91 ERA or whatever. That's what he should have done. But he had a 4.59 ERA. The next year, he had a 4.32 ERA in Detroit, with a FIP of 3.53. Nobody was sitting here saying Rick Porcello's a number 2 pitcher. Nobody was. But if you're really a nerd and you want to look at the FIP stat and this, that, so on and so forth, the FIP stat will tell you he's a number 2. So, that's where I stand with the advanced analytics. I will look at them, I'll analyze them to a degree, but I will also look at what he actually did too. And say, okay, this is what he should have did, this is what he actually did. Where does he rank in the rotation, and where does he rank as a pitcher? So, I think Sonny Gray at a 3 is solid. I wouldn't really disagree with you with that. If you told me he was a 3, I'd be like, alright, yeah, I'll agree with you on that. But nothing more than a 3. If you have a really good rotation, which is what the Red Sox should have after this offseason, again, I'm still looking at Joe Ryan or Freddie Peralta, someone like that the Red Sox should go get. Then Sonny Gray's either a 3 for you or a 4. And I feel like with the age with Sonny Gray, if you put him at the 4th spot in the rotation, that takes pressure off of him, right? Because he can give you innings, but at the same time, you're not putting too much of a workload on him. And you're not relying him to be the pitcher that he once was, which was a number 2 back in the day. So, I think at most, Sonny Gray's a 3. I don't think he's anything more than that. He's definitely not a number 1, and I don't think he's a number 2 anymore.
180 innings out of another quality pitcher like they're going to. Red Sox are a team to not be messed with in the American League next season. I love what they're doing already this offseason. Like, to me, this is an A+ acquisition. Who cares about the money? Doesn't really matter.
I agree.
Especially if you have the option opt-out next season. Great move. And then from the Cardinals' perspective,
I agree with that
talk
for the
about
Red Sox.
Richard Fitz and Brandon Clark. The big thing with Richard Fitz,
Again, but
got
he
a great
can't be the
fastball.
number 2,
The
though.
fastball averages 96 miles an hour. He's an extension king. He has really good
All right, we'll take a look at this Cardinals side of it where they get into the prospects or whatever. For the Red Sox move, it makes sense. The grade I give them for the trade, I'll say B+ for now. B+ for now, because I'm going to have the mindset of like, okay, they're not going to be done adding arms. I still think that a big move for a pitcher is incoming. I still think that. I know the rumors say otherwise, but if you really read the rumors, they weren't spending money in free agency for a number 2 pitcher. And honestly, I really don't blame them. There really isn't that many names out there in free agency who are legitimate number 2 pitcher. You just saw Dylan Cease go to Toronto for 7 years, $210 million. Now, if you don't know me already, I watch San Diego Padres baseball. Like, Xander Bogaerts is on that team. That's my guy. I'm Team X right now. So I'm watching every single game of the Padres. While, yes, Dylan Cease had some good stuff last year, he did not really look that great last year. And honestly, the end of 2024, too, he really didn't look that great either. So, I feel like 7 years at 210 was a bit of an overpay on him for a guy who, for most of last year, had a 5 ERA. Towards the end, he got a little bit better. Worked it down to a 4.55 ERA around there. But I definitely think they grossly overpaid on that. So the market for pitching is going to be ridiculously overpaid on all those guys, at least. So I don't really blame them for not wanting to spend money on starting pitching in free agency. But they do need to trade for one more starter, if you were to ask me.
As you can see, so that 96 even is more perceived as a little faster. The fastball has good lift, it has good movement. The fastball is the big pitch there for Richard Fitz, and it shows. Like, if you look at what pitches struggled for him last year, it was really the slider. Everything else was pretty good. He needs to come up with another breaking ball, but maybe the Cardinals can help him get there, or at least tinker with that slider, tinker with that curveball to make him better, because the fastball is a very, very good pitch, and he does get a ton of chase. He just kind of got barreled up a lot, which can happen at times, especially when you're so reliant on your fastball. But I like Richard Fitz. And again, the big thing here with Richard, I know he's got an electric nickname. YouTube will demonetize me if I say it, so I'm not going to. He is not a free agent until 2023. The Cardinals traded a 36-year-old pitcher for a guy who's going to be in this rotation for 4 or 5 years for relatively free. You have control over Richard Fitz until he's, 33 years old? Like, that's just a lot of value. And then Brandon Clark is the one that's got a little bit of helium, because Brandon Clark, I believe, was the number 5th ranked prospect according to MLB Pipeline in the Red Sox organization. He's a 22-year-old left-handed pitching prospect who throws gas, has a wipeout slider. The slider is absolutely disgusting. It is his best pitch. And again, he's a dude with a big frame from the left side with a wicked fastball, a wipeout slider. That right there is a really good profile. Tops out at 100, sits 96 pretty much with that fastball, and it's a power slider. The slider's in the upper 80s, sometimes hits the 90s. So while you might look at his minor league numbers last year and only see 38 innings due to the injuries that Clark had to deal with, he was coming back, rehabbing, looked really strong though in the moments that he was there. He does have some control issues, but those can be fixed because the stuff is absolutely electric, which is why I love this trade from both sides. Again, the Red Sox got what they needed. They got one of the best solid number 2s in Major League Baseball in Sonny Gray. It's on a contract that feels crazy for this year, but you don't have to worry about him in 2027. He is going to give you innings. He's going to give you strikeouts. He's not going to walk guys. All things that work so well in Fenway Park. And now that rotation rotation is legitimately deep. And all you had to do was give up Richard Fitts, who again is going to be, I think, a serviceably good starting pitcher at the major league level. I don't know if he'll ever be like Sonny Gray, but I think he's going to be good. And the Cardinals got a guy in Brandon Clark with a ton of upside. I love this trade from both sides. I think the Cardinals got great value. I think the Red Sox didn't give up too much from their organizational standpoint and got a good pitcher in this rotation. It's also funny because the first trade that Chaim Bloom really makes this offseason is with the team that he used to work for in the Boston Red Sox. The connections are always strong. They're always there. We should have known. And Sonny Gray is a great fit in Boston. I really do like this trade, and I'm so excited about this offseason. We're getting trades. We still haven't hit Thanksgiving, and the offseason's finally cooking. Big names being moved. Like, we saw the Angels trade Taylor Ward finally, this time to the Orioles, which was a weird fit, but then they got Grayson Rodriguez back, which is crazy because Grayson Rodriguez might be roast beef, but also I kind of like the trade from both sides, actually. We know about the Mets trading Nimmo, Rangers trading Simeon. The Braves made one of the weirdest trades I've ever seen with the Astros. The hot stove is heating up, and I absolutely love it. All I know is there's going to be so much content here on this channel, as well as the wind-up. If you want to subscribe to that, it's my other baseball channel. Link will be in the description. I'd love to know who you guys think won this trade down in the comment section below. Do you think it was the Red Sox? Do you think it was the Cardinals? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you have not yet done so. It really does help support what I do over here. And follow me on all my social media. Giraffe.
All right, that's going to do it for the video here. If you were to ask me, once again, this is the last time I'll say it. Number 3 starter at best, great, cool. I'm cool with that. Number 4, I'd be ecstatic about it. Because again, it really depends on where you want to put Brian Bayo in that rotation. If you see improvements in spring training and you want to have him be the number 3 and then Sonny Gray be the number 4, then hats off to you there. And I think Brian Bayo had a phenomenal year last year, up till the end at least. But like for the most part of last year, Brian Bayo was phenomenal. So if you wanted to put him at 3, then Sonny Gray at the 4, that just goes to show how deep your rotation is. And again, this is assuming if the Red Sox go out and get Freddie Peralta or Joe Ryan or Tarek Skubal. Like, that's what this is assuming. If Sonny Gray is your number 2 pitcher next year, I don't know how to feel about that. I honestly really don't like it, and I think it's a letdown for Red Sox fans. So that's going to do it for this video here. Leave a thumbs up if you guys enjoy these videos. Subscribe if you guys know what to do. Go check out our website. The link is in the description down below. If you guys want to be notified whenever we drop an upload, hit that notification bell so you can be the first one to watch these videos.